Now, what to expect tonight? Well, one of the things that I'm hoping to get out of tonight's webinar is, number one, I want to basically show you how to create an avalanche of cheap targeted traffic. When it comes to cheap targeted traffic, probably it's very, very difficult to beat pay-per-view traffic, unless, of course, you're doing media buys and you get a real killer of a deal on a media buy. But other than that, as on a self-serve platform, this is probably the cheapest form of targeted traffic that you can get. And I'm going to show you tonight how you can find offers that convert crazy with pay-per-view traffic. I'm also going to show you how you can increase your conversion rates, and I'm actually going to even show you a live example of a campaign that was a loser that I managed to, by simply implementing one strategy that I'll show you today, managed to get a 200% ROI versus losing money on that. I'm also going to show you how to quickly build an email list in any market and get paid to do it. And like I said, at the beginning of this webinar, you can basically start to implement what I teach within minutes of the conclusion of this webinar. So there's going to be a lot to take away. Now, before we get into pay-per-view traffic, I mean, there's the age-old debate about paid versus free traffic, and I just want to talk about why I'm known as the paid traffic guy. And the reason for that, and the reason why I love paid traffic so much, is because number one, paid traffic is instant. Like I said, after this particular webinar, if you're already a part of a PPV network, or you already have campaigns on pause or waiting approval, I mean, the traffic can come in instantly. You can set up something within 15, 20 minutes, and if it gets approved fast enough by like an add-on network or a traffic advance, then a flood of traffic can come flying in. The other thing I like about paid traffic is it's consistent and it's predictable. And the other thing with paid traffic, it is scalable. I mean, if you get something working on pay-per-view traffic, you can also move it to pay-per-click, you can also move it to media buys, whatever you're promoting. That's why it's scalable. I mean, especially if you look at these offers such as Colon Cleanse, Acai Berry, BizOp offers, a lot of these are as big as they are because they were scaled using paid traffic. If it had been left to free traffic, I can guarantee you not many people would have heard of what a Acai was or Colon Cleanse was. And the other thing about paid traffic is it's controllable. You can turn it on, you can shut it off, you can do whatever you want. You can set a certain daily budget, you can set a certain amount of traffic. These are the things that you can basically do with paid traffic that gives you control. Now, what I'm going to talk to you tonight about is specifically pay-per-view traffic. Now, the previous industry term was CPV, or cost per view. But when I first started talking about this, and I literally blew the doors open to this traffic source and brought it into mainstream internet marketing way back in 2007, and I renamed it pay-per-view, or pay-per-view traffic, and it seems that the whole industry has embraced that term, and it's simply known as pay-per-view. Now, it's an extremely powerful form of traffic generation, and you know, you hear that saying that sometimes something is too good to be true. Well, this is something that sounded too good to be true, but it really was, and it was really hard to keep it under wraps because it was just the traffic, how cheap you can get it, and how well it can convert. There's many guys who have gone on to create 6-7-figure PPV businesses simply using pay-per-view traffic. And the reason why pay-per-view traffic is so powerful is because you get a full window to grab the prospect's attention. Think about it. You're not just some small banner or some text ad buried somewhere far below in a page. You are actually getting a full window to grab the prospect's attention. On some of the networks, this window actually pops above the user's browser window as opposed to below or under the browser window, which means that you have, no matter what, their full undivided attention. So as marketers, I'm going to show you how you really need to grab their attention, get them to take action, so at the end of the day that whatever action that they take, whether you're trying to do a lead generation, send the traffic to a CPA offer, or sell your own product or service, that you get that action taken. Now, there's been the debate of PPV versus PPC. Many pay-per-click marketers have abandoned pay-per-click traffic in favor of pay-per-view traffic. And the reason for that is it's quite clear. I mean, with pay-per-view traffic, there's absolutely no quality score issues you have to deal with. You don't have to deal with Google's silly algorithms or, you know, their rigid rules or whatever. Pretty much anything goes with pay-per-view. You don't have to create any landing pages if you don't want to. You can directly link to whatever offer you're promoting, whether it's an affiliate offer, whether it's a CPA offer, or whatever you want to send the traffic to. Of course, you do have the option of creating landing pages or bridge pages, and in some instances it's very crucial to have a landing page, but you don't have to do it. It's not necessary. And like I said, there's absolutely no ad creation at all. You don't have to do any ad writing, which is a huge plus for many people who are not good at copywriting or writing ads. But with that being said, there's one thing that I want to make clear so that you guys understand who want to get involved in pay-per-view traffic. Pay-per-click traffic, in my opinion, still is probably a larger source of traffic versus pay-per-view. And for what I mean by that is pay-per-view traffic is limited. It's probably limited to about 80 million people who have all of these adware applications on their computer within the United States and, well, for that matter, continental North America. With pay-per-click traffic, that's pretty much unlimited. I mean, there's literally billions of searches that are done on a daily basis on Bing and Yahoo and Google. So when it comes to reach, you're probably going to reach, your reach is probably a lot larger on pay-per-click than it would be on pay-per-view. But with that being said, the competition on pay-per-view is not nearly as competitive on pay-per-click, and that's why pay-per-view is so much more lucrative. Now, so that you have an understanding, and I'm not going to spend too much time on what pay-per-view is, because I'm sure that if you're all part of OfferVault, that Mark at some point has already prepped you up, because the education already in OfferVault is top-notch. But I'm just going to, for the sake of the people who are fairly new to what pay-per-view is, I'm just going to kind of run through what it is so that you do have a thorough understanding of how it's generated, what it does, and how you can take advantage of it. Now, pay-per-view traffic is basically adware traffic, and this is traffic that is triggered by software that is downloaded by the end user. Okay, and an example of that could be GameVance.com. And what happens is when somebody downloads this particular piece of software, and they install it on their computer, anytime they surf the net or they go to a particular domain, they're going to get the occasional pop-up window, and it's going to be either a pop-over window, which pops over the user's browser, or a pop-under window, which pops under the user's browsers, that contains your advertisement, okay? Now, you as the advertiser have the ability to choose the keywords and domains that you want to target or bid on, okay? Now, the one thing I want to clarify is that this is not spyware. This is 100% opt-in adware traffic. And in most cases, the user has to accept an end-user license agreement even to install the software on their computer. So they're well aware that there are terms and conditions to accepting the software on their computer. So now, when a user who has the adware software installed on their computer decides to go to, let's say, Facebook.com, if there's somebody bidding on Facebook.com, an advertisement's going to appear. Or if they go to Google and they search for car insurance, somebody who's bidding on the target car insurance is going to have their advertisement appear. Now, the one thing that I want you to be very aware of is that the way it works with pay-per-view is very similar to old school traditional pay-per-click marketing, and that is advertisers bid in an auction market and the highest bidder wins. I mean, that's the way it used to be when GoTo.com came out, when Overture.com came out, and pretty much when Yahoo display search or Yahoo search marketing was running. It was that, hey, listen, money speaks, money talks. If you are the highest bidder, we'll place you in the first position. Now, what makes it a bit different with adware traffic is that there is there's an overproportion, or I guess you could say a huge advantage to being in the number 1 position versus the number 2 position, being in the number 2 position versus the number 3 position, and this all depends obviously on the pay-per-view network that you're advertising.